Hello. Today's Thursday, July 2nd. Yep. So, feeling better today. Not 100%, but better than the last couple of days. I was really miserable when I saw you guys on Tuesday. But antibiotics are kicking in. Shot they gave me is kicking in. 2 days of laying in bed, it's kicking in. So it's good. Today I was able to leave the house a little bit. So it felt good. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, Lloyd. Thanks. My El Sereno Club is here. Kevin's here. Hey, Kev. Hope your parents are doing better, Kev. So, Ivan's from Washington. So we have East LA, El Sereno, Burbank, and Washington. I think Jeff's probably in Illinois somewhere. Tony's in Redlands. Hunter's in Northern Cal. Yeah, Jeff's in Illinois. Where are you from, Robert? Oh, okay, cool, Tony. Thanks. Yeah, Tom asked me to bring some flyers by there for my private charter, so I did that. And we had our busiest private charter month ever in June. Last June, I did 5 charters, and for the whole month. And this year, we did 16 charters in June. Some were like discounted trips that we were making up for that we had offered in February and in March when the weather got bad and then the COVID hit. So we had to make those trips up. So that's what a lot of those were. Yeah, Lewis, I'm feeling better. All right, Kevin. So your mom made it home, but your dad's still in the hospital. Well, hopefully he gets out soon. Yeah. I used to live in El Sereno. I used to live University Hills. I was in the community group that named it that, right next to Cal State LA. My parents still have a home there. They don't live there, but an old home that we used to live there, they rent out, and that's where I used to live. Okay, so Roberts by Sequoia National Park. Cool. I shot a bear there one time. Well, it wasn't in Sequoia Park, but close to there where it was legal. I think his skull is that one. Right. I can't point to it. That one right there next to the reel is a bear skull. The other one over there is a pig. I have the bear rug in another room. That's pretty up there. Brian, you landed one without squid. That's impressive. Most people can't do that. Most people have to use squid. And like I always say, it's not that you need the squid to get bit, but having the squid on there will allow you to feel the bite longer. The fish will hold on to it longer, and it's easier to set the hook on it. I'm getting notices that I'm on YouTube right now. I should put this on silent. Patrick, am I doing trips out of San Diego? Yes, I have a trip coming up July 22nd. We have a few spots left on it. let me put a post to it. So if you guys don't know where my trips are for the TV show, like if you want to join me on a TV show trip, you just go to sport-fishing.com, and on the left-hand side there's a thing that says, on the left-hand side under the logo says book online, and that will take you straight to all our trips. So here's a link to where our trips are, and we have several trips for this month. 2 of them are sold out. The trip on the Enterprise is sold out. The trip on City of Long Beach, our Twilight trip, is sold out. But the trip on the Triton we have on 7/12, it's a Sunday. We Captain Tom Jur on, not the Triton, the Tradition, on the Tradition, 22nd Street. That trip, we still have, I think, 5 or 6 spots left open. So I'm sure it will sell out. So if you guys want to go fish with us on a 3/4 day, I'm not sure if it's going to be a Catalina trip or it's going to be a local trip. The fishing's been pretty good in both locations. Lots of local fish. You know, it's pretty easy to get a limited bass locally. There's been some good counts on the barracuda locally. I was out there in the City of Enterprise. I'm sorry, the Enterprise was out there, and Bobby was running it. And when I was out there Monday, he had 70 barracuda. 70 barracuda. And he was calling me to come in, but I didn't want to crowd him, and I didn't want to scare his fish away. So we only caught a handful of barracuda, but he had 70. And part of the reason he had 70 is that he had, 100 scoops of bait to chum to keep the fish around the boat. And my boat only carries 2 scoops on the whole boat, so that makes it hard. But July 22nd, departing that night, I have a trip fishing July 23rd offshore for tuna out of San Diego on the Excalibur. It's a 1.5-day trip. So we leave on the 22nd, we fish the 23rd, and we come back Friday, the 24th, around 7 a.m., something like that. So yeah, plenty of time. Get in, get all your gear, throw it on your truck and car, and head home with your fish. And if you have to go to work for a couple hours, you can go to work. And that's what I normally have to do. But I have a trip the next day too, so I might have to run home and get stuff ready for the fishing trip, private charter, the following day on the 25th. So, you guys gonna try to get 100 likes today? We only have 45 people on right now. Maybe we'll get more people. I think people got used to the Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing. And some people were sending me messages asking what happened, why wasn't I doing it anymore? So I was trying to explain to them that we switched to Tuesday, Thursday. But let's see if people find us. Yeah, share these with your Facebook page. I don't know if you can do it on YouTube, wherever you can share it to let people know so that they can come and join us here. Lloyd, where's this pigeon talk coming from? Oh, I see. Jeff brought it up. Yeah, no, there's different pigeons. They're not pigeons in the park. Henry wants to know which navionics do I recommend use on your 17-foot boat? Whatever matches you need to buy the card that matches your fish finder. Now, if you're asking like which one is, well, as far as range, get Southern California. I think it goes from Point Conception all the way down to the Mexican border. Might even go farther down the border. I don't know. I haven't used mine down that far. It'll probably work almost anywhere, except if you have the right card, you get all the details, all the, where the closures are, where all the reefs are, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I would say. You want to get the one for Southern California. And then you should also have the app on your phone. Get the Navionic app, have it on your phone. I can't tell you, there's a couple of times where I was out on my skiff when I had my skeeter boat, and I just didn't feel like taking a fish finder because I figured I'm just going to run out for 2-3 hours. I'm just going to fish the breakwater. I can see the breakwater, run there, fish for a few hours, and come home. And twice I got caught in really bad fog. I knew I was on the breakwater because I could see the rocks, but to find my way back to Alamitos Bay to get the boat back to the slip was impossible. So the only way I got back was that Navionic chart on my phone. So I had to travel slow because I didn't have radar, but I could travel at 5-6 knots and just putt in and listen for big ships and other boats, and I was able to get in. Michael, yes, there's squid. There's squid at the island. There's squid. The Carnage has it for sale at Avalon. And on most days, Nacho has squid from the Carnage available at the bait receiver there in Alamitos Bay. Now you guys got Tyler talking about pigeons. Okay, Rick. So, Rick, let me understand your question. You want to know here from Montebello, go Oilers. I'm a Hall of Fame member, Montebello High School. Wanted to ask you if Fish and Game still make artificial reefs, and what date did they put a stop to it? I don't know when they put a stop to it. The last one that I know of that was made in our area was Iser's Reef, and that was over 30 years ago. But there is a reef being built right now, which is part of a lawsuit, and it's I want to say it's around Palos Verdes, maybe not quite up that far, but it's in a fish zone, legal fish zone, and they're building it right now. You can actually see barges up there dropping off rocks, and they're building some structure spots there, which next year or two will be a good fishing spot. So it's something to do with the chemical spill or something, illegal dumping that killed a bunch of kelp and stuff in that area. So from what I understand, and that was part of the settlement, was that they had to build a reef, artificial reef, and that's all about. Okay, what other questions? So Matthew, you're going to Catalina on the Triton on Monday. Make sure you have some heavy leader. Make sure you have 65-pound Spectra on your reels, 50-pound the lightest on your reels. Make sure you have fluorocarbon from 25 to 50. I saw pictures today and videos of the gale force where they were fishing, and they were around some bad rocks, and they lost some fish, but they landed some, and they got some nice yellows. And Jared was yelling at some boats because they were trying to steal their fish, throwing broiling squid by his boat, trying to get the yellowtail to leave the gale force and head over to their boat. So I don't know if it happened, if it worked or not, but you can see it on his Instagram. He posted it, skipper of the gale force. So. Nitro, is the Ray Marine on your skiff up and running? It should be now. I just got the last part I needed for it, but I was hoping to run it this weekend, but I want to recover and get 100% well, so I probably won't run the boat this weekend. And I'm not running the big boat, so I didn't take any charters till the one we have on Wednesday. We had that open party trip on Wednesday, one of our discounted trips. And we have one spot open on Wednesday's trip. Wednesday's trip is 7-8. Yeah. It's a half-day trip. Yeah, we have one spot open. So it's normally $185 for the trip, and the discounted price is $150. So $150. So there's that one there. Do you have a private charter with us on the 26th? Sunday? I haven't got that information from Monica. You already sent in the deposit and everything? I hope. Yeah, I gotta check with Monica. She hasn't told me about a trip on the 26th. That will be a long week because I'll be day and a half tuna trip, get back on that Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday do private charters. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, Lewis, I have an H&M landing trip on the 22nd of July. Departs the 22nd, fish all day the 23rd, from sunrise to sunset, and then we're back the 24th at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. That is on the Excalibur. If you guys don't know about these trips, you all need to go to my website and sign up for to get on my email list. I mean, it's really simple. You should all be on those email lists so you can get all the emails from us and know exactly when the trips are. So yeah, on our website, we have a page there where you can just sign up and find out all about our trips and join us. So you should be follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, Twitter if you want. I don't do much on Twitter, and you should be you should have your email in our database for our email blast, because we do email blasts basically every week, and that way you guys can get on the boats with us. And sometimes, every once in a while, one of the skippers will call me with a discounted trip because a charter there's canceled last minute. So then I'll do something and announce it, and then we'll fill up the boat for them last minute and get people to go. Yeah, I have 3 other trips there. I mean, we have a trip on the Tomahawk, we have a trip on the Legend, and we have this trip on the Excalibur. So if you guys want to join me, you're welcome to join me. And again, here's the link for all my TV filming trips. And this is how you get on one of the episodes. You just sign up for one of these trips. Yeah, Tyler, I have a trip this coming Wednesday. I have one spot open, half-day trip, $150. So we're leaving Wednesday. Gonna go look for yellowtail first, and then go catch the barracuda and the bass. So you're welcome to sign up and join us. So John says he was out of Dana and did really good. That's good. Yeah, Michael, they're still catching some big yellows at Catalina. They're having more of a trouble stopping them. There isn't a quantity, like huge quantities of yellowtail at the island. You have to fish really hard, and you're lucky you get a few bites. If you're really lucky, you land 1 or 2. I had 2 trips to the island this week, and we didn't even see a boil of a yellowtail. We fished 2 days local, and we did really good on the barracuda, really good on the bass, and that last trip Monday where I was sick, we did really good and caught a big halibut, like a 25-pound halibut. So that was good. Yeah, the trip we have on the Tradition, normally we would take 45 people on that boat. Normally. This year, we can only take 22. So there's room. The problem is when all the fish are breaking off the back of the boat, everybody runs the back of the boat, everybody stays in the back of the boat, and people just don't spread around. On that last trip that we had on the Triton, people were good. Like, people spread themselves around the boat, and some guys just stayed on the bow. They just didn't want to be around people, so they just stayed in the bow, and that worked out. There's a little bit of white sea bass at Channel Islands, Kevin. Most of the white sea bass is coming from San Nick. It's coming from the farthest island. The Fortune was out there with the guys from Eastside Rod and Reel Club he used to belong to, and they had 60 white sea bass. They had sea bass for everybody, all the guys in the club, and they caught the sea bass for the crew too, so the crew could take fish home. So, and some of the boats that were just there yesterday and today, they got good load of sea bass too. It's a small area. It's at San Nicolas Island, and the guys are doing good, and they're catching sea bass there. Julio, yes, the East Cape trip is still on. We actually had another 4 people signed up today. We're not going to have our normal 50 people going. I think we're going to have somewhere between 20 probably going this year. But the East Cape trip is still on. I talked to the airlines. They actually moved the flights back a little bit on American. Normally we'd leave at 9 o'clock in the morning and get there about 1. Now the flight's leaving at 11 in the morning. And I asked the customer agent today, how full is the flight? And she says it's only a third full right now. And the flights are cheap. And they're like $245 or something. When I was looking at the flight last year, it was closer, it was over 500. And last year when I went on this same trip, they wanted $725 to fly from LAX to Cabo. Right now you can get it for $249 or $245. So it's a big price difference. And that's why last year I drove to San Diego, took the bridge, walked across, left out of TJ because it was a lot less money. It was like $225 than going out of LAX. Okay, Deborah. I'll just check with Monica. Ask her why I don't have the date on my phone yet. That's cool. Be a fun trip. That's cool. Terry, we got 1 spot open for next Wednesday. I know you want to go to Catalina, but we got 1 spot open for next Wednesday. Let me see if I can get April to show up. She hates these bones. I bought her nicer bones, and she wants the cheap Costco bones. April. 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 Come on, your fans are waiting for you. She's off the sofa. Is she gonna make it? I don't know why she hates these bones so much. She's hiding there. Come on, April. April, come here. 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 She does not care for these bones. I've never seen a dog not take a dog bone. So I don't know. Maybe they aren't good. I don't. It was a brand new box. Got it at the grocery store. Now I got to drive to Costco and get her some. All right, well, that was her appearance. Sorry, Deep Blue. How much does a sardine weigh? I haven't been asked that question before. What a lot of people will use is a one of those clips, a clothesline clip. the wooden one, tie that on. Or take a lure, like a stick lure. I don't know if I have any here. And just take the hooks off it. You want something light to practice. I'm getting more and more requests for like a class thing. So we might have to do something. These kind of stick baits, they work really good like at the breakwater, kelp beds. These would be good for practice casting. You could go like to Lake or a local lake. And I guess you could leave the hooks on it and just practice casting. But make sure you have a fishing license because you will be fishing. So you must have a fishing license. But something like this to cast out, or a smaller one would even be better. That weighs like an anchovy. That's what I would recommend. Bucktails are easy to cast because they're nice and heavy. So we still have the sale on if you guys are interested in bucktails and magic metal jigs. You can use that code SAVE20 and it'll help you. Yeah, I've been catching a lot of bass on the bucktails. And we haven't talked about these for a while, but these were popular for a while. Maybe all of you in the same group have already ordered them. But this was something we started back in March, and it really did well. And we're still continuing it. These are our mystery tackle bags. So if you guys are interested in the mystery tackle bags, there's links to that there. And again, all this stuff is on my website. Well, one, the bite at Channel Islands is good. The bite at San Nicolas Island is on fire. Boats are getting 50 to 60 fish per boat. It's ridiculous, the number of white sea bass are getting at San Nic. But yeah, the Mirage did good. They got white sea bass today. They got limits of white sea bass. What's the limit now? Is it 2 per person? Oh, it must be 3 because they got 45 white sea bass today. And those are nice white sea bass that they got. But I'm telling you, the ones at Nic are huge. They're monsters. None of them had to be measured. The Coral Sea did good. They got a bunch of white sea bass. Looks like they got 51 white sea bass today. So they're definitely at the Channel Islands. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're along the coast. I'm guessing they're at the Channel Islands. But they did really good. 51 white sea bass. Wow. Let's see what else got caught today. How did San Diego do? Let's see. I haven't heard about San Diego today. Fishermen's had 110 yellowtail, 15 yellowfin, and 14 bluefin. Point Loma had 75 yellowtail, 20 yellowfin tuna, 1 dorado. And H&M had 31 yellowtail, 2 bluefin. Seaforth, 34 yellowtail, 2 yellowfin, 2 bluefin, 2 dorado. Pure Point had 1 white sea bass. 137 barracuda. That's really good. Long Beach had 80 barracuda for 2 boats. 22nd Street had 49 barracuda, 75 sculpin, 12 yellowtail, and 2 white sea bass. Yeah, so the Channel Islands, they had 51 white sea bass, and 45 of those were caught by 1 boat, the Mirage. But the boats that are going to Nick are doing really good. Sea Landing had 52 white sea bass. That's really, really good. So you guys got time to go to Santa Barbara. They're probably sold out right now because everybody's wanting to catch a white sea bass. I don't blame them. Okay, what other questions? Yeah, when in doubt, the New Hustler's doing good. It's a great boat. Yeah, so right now the limit's 3 per person. Louis, you're going to Channel Islands tomorrow? That's cool. What boat are you on? And like I said, there just isn't the volume of yellowtail up here. Catalina, even Channel Islands, there just isn't that quantity. There are some yellowtail. Don't get me wrong, people are catching them, but there just isn't that monster volume of fish that we had a few years ago. And hopefully we'll see them. Yeah, no problem, Paul. I told Monica that email I got from you, and for some reason your order didn't go through. That's why you didn't get it. So I'm glad you're able to pick it up. That was good. So enjoy those tomorrow. Use squid with them. You'll really like them. Tony, you got an email from Jamie earlier in the week. It was either earlier this week or last week. So you probably need to check your spam folder, or maybe you deleted it. But she was trying to reach you guys that won the 2 trips to get your voucher. So check your spam folder, but it's Jamie at Sea Landing. I'm pretty sure it's her email website. Let me find her email address for you. No, it's just info at. So I was attached to the email, so I know she sent out the email. So Tony, she has your name already, and email Jamie there at that email address, and let her know that you'd like to get your free ticket. Okay. Quaker Oats. How do you like to cook white sea bass? White sea bass is the best eating fish. It's the holy grail of the fish out there, really. You can barbecue it. You can bake it. What you don't want to do is deep fry it. It's just really a good buttery type of fish. There's just so many ways you can cook it. Steam it. Just don't deep fry it, please. Save that for the rockfish. Lean cod. Make your fish and chips with that. The white sea bass, do not soak it and drench it in oil. If you want to pan fry it, you can go ahead and use a pan and put a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of butter, sea salt, and you're done. I mean, it really cooks up good. You can also sashimi it. Kevin just let me know that. But if you want to cook it up, it's really easy to cook it. What else is here? Most of the yellows are on the surface, Michael. You can use a light sinker, but you're not going to be using a dropper loop rig. Most of the guys are catching them on the surface, and most of the white sea bass are being caught down deep. Dropper loop rig, a bucktail, a 4-ounce bucktail with the whole squid bounced off the bottom. You're going to catch big halibut. You're going to catch big white sea bass on that. I would probably recommend you get the 2-ounce and 4-ounce HD model. Don't get the regular bucktail because it's just, the hooks are too small for the size of the white sea bass that are out there. And some of the halibut have been big. So you want to use the HD because they come with a big hook. So this is the regular bucktail, but you want the HD model. It says right on there, HD, really big. Yeah, you guys can look on my YouTube channel here under the cooking segments, and we have lots of cooking segments there. And a lot of those you can use for white sea bass. Robert, you've only caught one white sea bass? And it was a while ago if you're using a Saber glass rod. Yeah, one of my clients, was it 2 weeks ago? Was the founder of Saber Rods. So that was nice. Had him out and his grandkids. And then I don't know if you guys saw the pictures I posted on Instagram and on my Facebook. I had Rocky Carroll, really nice guy. He's on NCIS, the TV show. Been on there for years and years and years. And the dude loves to go fishing. And he was having so much fun catching big bass. We caught some big calicos. I think we got a couple of barracuda that day too at the island. Like I said, we didn't see any yellows. But he was really happy catching the big bass. And he had brought one of his buddies with him, Joe. And the two of them had a blast. And it was fun. It's fun fishing with people that enjoy fishing. and he actually invited me to come out on his birthday fishing trip. So we're trying to make that happen, make that work out. Okay, so I got 80 people here, but only 40 likes. Can we kick up the likes? Can we get another 40 likes? And I am trying to find a way to do one of these broadcasts from my fishing room. I just have to take my iPad in there and see if the Wi-Fi reaches. So once I find that out, then I can plan to try to do it for you next week in there. The room came out really nice. I don't know if I should show everything that's in there, but I have alarms everywhere, so it's okay. Backyard Farmer, do you still film your TV show? Yes, I do. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, you just go to my website and sign up for the trips. We have spaces available on 2 trips for this month. On the 12th, we're going to be on the Tradition. And on the 22nd, we're departing for a day-and-a-half trip. Day-and-a-half trip. What do you call it? Day-and-a-half trip on the Excalibur out of HM Landing. We'll be tuna fishing. So if you'd like to sign up for one of those trips, here is a link, and you can be on my TV show. Whoever shows up is who's on the show. So first come, first serve. And the amounts of the people on the boats have been cut back, limited loads. Like the Tradition, normally we would take 45 people. And the trip on the 12th, we're only taking 22 people. 22 people plus me and a cameraman. So it'll be 24 of us all together on the boat. Wow, Robbie, you got 3 white sea bass. That's cool. Yeah, if you guys want to join me on a filming trip, it's really simple. Just go there and sign up. Jeff, have I ever been to a Drama Rama concert? No, I have not. But the bass player is a good friend of mine. I knew him when he was in his first high school band. I got him his first gig at the Ice House in Pasadena. That was pretty fun. April. Everybody wants to see you. April. Come on, I can hear you over there. Come on, April. April. I have to get better treats. She does not care for those bones. April. All right. I tried. So, Nick, what rod and reel setups do you bring on overnight trips? Depends where I'm at. Overnight trips I take to San Nick is different than San Clemente, then Coronados. I'm going to Santa Rosa. I'm fishing white Seabass halibut. Might take a little bit different gear. I basically have 3 outfits. One with 50-pound Spectra on it, and 2 with 65, or 1 with 65 and 1 with 80. And then I can just tie on whatever fluorocarbon I want on top of it. And I carry everything from 20 to 50-pound fluorocarbon in my box. And then I have some heavier leaders up to 150-pound in my tackle bag too, in case we get into bigger fish or billfish or something. I ran across a big, well, I shouldn't say big, I guess it was big, 300-400-pound swordfish the other day going to Catalina. And my clients really wanted to bass fish, so I didn't even bother slowing down on it. But I drove really close to it just to see it. And it was a big swordfish laying on the surface. And I knew if we dropped a bait on it and we hooked it, if we got lucky enough to hook it, we'd be on it for a good 10 hours. So I didn't even bother. Just took my clients to the island and dealt with it. I should take pictures of it though. It was pretty. Yeah, Nick, you really don't need to worry about doing like the 20, 30, 40 thing or any of that anymore. Which we really need is just have the Spectra on your reels. You know, have the 50 and the 65-pound. And then if you have smaller reels and you're afraid you can't get enough line on it, then just use 50-pound Spectra. And then you can tie on whatever top shot you need. The exception to that is if you're going tuna fishing. If you're going offshore tuna fishing, especially a day and a half, 2-day trip, 3-day trip, you're going to need some bigger gear. You know, if you're going to fish like Jeff does for the 200-300 pounders, you're going to need some much heavier gear. But for that schooler size fish, you'll be using 25 to 40-pound test line most of the time. But I've been out there and the skipper says nothing lighter than 50. You know, don't bother throwing 25. Don't bother throwing 30. Nothing lighter than 50 because there's so many fish out there. It's not going to be a problem. Let's get bit. Let's use a heavier line. Yeah, Kevin, you can free gaff a swordfish, but probably going to break your gaff. The Gale Force did that. They gaffed one. I think they got 4 gaffs in it and they broke 2 of them. And they were able to get it in. And it was a little one. It was like 100 pounds, under 100 pounds. This one was over 300, around 400 pounds, maybe bigger, at least 400 pounds. It was a big, big fish. And when it kicked its tail, when I spooked it and drove right up on it, it made a big splash. It was really at the back where the back tail is. It was nice and wide and thick. It was a big, mean fish. We've been on it a good 10, 12 hours. So, yep, don't even bother. Sometimes you just got to know what you're doing. And just, you know, passengers, if they're not ready for that, if they don't look like they're physically able to handle that, and I don't want to pull on it for 10 hours, I'm going to go catch bass. All right, guys, so I have one spot left for a trip next Wednesday. If any of you want to join me, if there's any of you that would like to go on the trip and use it as a learning lesson, that would be great because there's only 4 people on the boat. If you need help tying knots, if you need help learning how to cast with a spinning reel, a conventional reel, we have all that on the boat. If you want to bring your own gear, you can do that. But there's nothing like learning how to do it when there's actual fish around. So I think it would help a lot in the learning process. And the biggest mistakes I watch people make is the setting the hook. People just react as soon as they feel pressure on their line, and you can't do that. You have to really wait. Especially with our clients, we use a lot of circle hooks, especially right now with all the barracuda. We tried using some J hooks to make it easier on people, but barracuda were just eating right through the line. They're swanning them. With the circle hook, at least we hook them in the corner of the jaw, and it makes it easier to get the fish and bring them into the boat. So we use the circle hooks a lot. So it's really important that you guys, listen and watch us. And if you want to learn how to catch fish, that would probably be the best thing. Like, I would book that last spot on the strip on Wednesday and not even think about catching fish. Just try to learn. Just master a skill a little bit more. If it's casting, if it's pinning on a bait, if it's tying a knot, if it's feeling your bait swim in the water, all that kind of stuff. I'd be glad to help you guys do all that. And we can do that in the classroom or on the water, do that. I am thinking about doing some classroom type stuff on the back of my boat because so many requests have been coming in for that stuff. I just want to do like a 2-hour thing at the back of my boat in the harbor. We won't take the boat out. We'll just do it right there with 6 people. So I'm just wondering, what would be a fair price that you guys might be interested in. If you want to message me what you think is reasonable for like a 2-hour class, I would go and before the class, run the boat out, go pick up some bait. So we'd have some live bait on the boat. So I could show you guys how to pin on a bait. You could practice casting a bait. Just little simple things like that. And then we'll talk about how to pin on a bait and all that kind of stuff too. And I want to work with you guys on setting the hook. It's really important learning how to set the hook on a fish. Okay, what are some questions here? Manual, have you ever fought a fish for that long? Now, the longest I fought a fish was like 3 hours. One of the marlins I caught. The tuna don't take that long normally, but I shouldn't say that. I haven't caught one of those big monster ones, so those can take a while too. Hey, Delaware. Do you watch my TV show in Delaware, or you just find me through YouTube, Brian? John, I'm running all the trips on my boat. So every private charter trip on my boat, I will be on the boat. So yeah, I'll be running the trips. Let's see, what weeks do we have available? See, Wednesday. Yeah, so we have a trip on the 8th, trip on the 15th. We don't have a trip on the 22nd because that's the day I leave for my day-and-a-half trip. And we don't have a trip on the 29th because the next day I leave for Mexico for my 5-day trip to the East Cape. So I need to get all the camera gear and all the permits and all that stuff done. So I won't be doing that. Yeah, see, those are prices that I was afraid you guys were going to say. I was thinking more like $95 for 2 hours, 1-on-1, or 6-on-1. But I don't know. Maybe I could think of a lower price. It would probably have to be a weekday too, because I just couldn't afford to do it on a weekend, because every weekend is precious for the private charters. So if I'm getting $1,500 to go to Catalina, I can't turn down that for $200 for fishing lessons. So if you guys could do weekdays, then we could try to set up a weekday and see how that works out. Yeah, $75 sounds like it's reasonable. Some of the really good boats to get started on, if you've never fished before and you're looking for an open party trip, I would say the Enterprise, City Long Beach, great cruise. The Enterprise has probably one of the best crews locally out of Long Beach. The Victory out of Long Beach is good too. Haven't fished that much on the 22nd Street boats, but I would fish on the Tradition with Captain Tom Durr. He does a great job on his boat, and he's been around forever. It's like 60 years of experience, and he's a good boat, great boat to be on. So those would be some of the boats I would pick to go fishing on. If you're down in southern Orange County area, I guess northern San Diego County, I would look at the Sea Star out of Oceanside. That's a great boat. Captain Joe's good with people, great with people, and he's good at educating. He loves to talk to people. So that would be a boat I would look at. All right. And the new Hustler, I mean the Hustler out of it's not Ventura, but it's up in Oxnard area. I forgot the name of their landing, but they do a really good job. Captain Chris does a great job, and his crew is really good too. So that's what I would recommend. Yeah, I don't know if they would pay $80 though. That's what I was thinking was $80. And I don't know what time it would work, because I'd like to do it during the day or in the morning if possible, like 11 o'clock or something. So I have some time to go pick up some bait and come back and greet everybody. But I guess we can just make it up, and I'll post it out here and see if anybody signs up. But it would be a weekday. I couldn't do it on a weekend, like I said. But, we'll go over all the basics of fishing, talk about the gear, talk about the different hooks, the different knots, and we'd spend some time all tying it together. So. So Lewis is asking, I don't know, Andrew, do you have a private in-home tutoring? Not really, but I do have a Patreon level, which I don't think anybody in here is on my Patreon. But I do have a level of Patreon where you can come in once a month to my office, and we can sit down and go over your tackle. And we could do that. So I do have that. Yeah, so that's probably the closest thing I have to like an in-house type of thing. And I don't know if this is a good link for it. But I do have a Patreon account, and it will show you about the different levels we have. And there is a level there that will allow you to come to my office once a month, and we can go over your gear and talk about all that stuff. So that's here. That's Patreon. And what else do we need to cover? And I just posted a couple new videos to my app. So if you guys are okay, bye, Lewis. Got call into emergency. I hope it's nothing bad. So I just posted a couple new videos that I haven't broadcast yet onto my Vimeo app. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm feeling better, Harold. Thank you. Cool. All right, guys. Been here for over an hour and 22 minutes. So I'm going to say goodbye. Again, if any of you are interested in joining me on Wednesday next week, please go to the website. I posted links here for that. And if any of you could subscribe to my Vimeo app, it's $1.99 a month, less than $2 a month. You can watch the videos anytime you want, 24/7. And the link's right there. All right, thanks, guys. I'm glad I'm feeling better. Thank you guys for asking about that. I'm going to have to get some better treats so April will join us again. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great 4th of July. Everybody stay safe. I know it's going to be kind of a bummer with the beaches closed. But that's the, what we're living in right now. It's our new world. So yeah, beaches will be closed. Some beaches will be closed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, starting tomorrow. Other beaches will just be closed on Saturday. All the bars are closed. So it's a different world. All right, stay safe, everybody, and take care. Talk to you later. Bye. Happy 4th of July.